on the News Channel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Wednesday night for Open Line on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Casey Mason, and we've got two very special guests joining us tonight. We're going to have a great conversation, and as always, we want to encourage you to join in on our conversation tonight. The number is going to be right there on your screen. We are talking with the folks at Creekside at Three Rivers Assisted Living. I've actually got two guests with me tonight. I've got Katie and Amy joining us. Thank you, first of all, so much for being here. We're so excited about tonight's show. I always like to start things off by telling a little bit about yourself. So we've got Amy here. Yes. And Katie. Yes. Wonderful. So Katie, first of all, you are the Director of Operations, and Amy is the Marketing Director at Creekside. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves. Whoever wants to go first.
Sure. Well, I am the Marketing Director at Creekside Assisted Living. I am a native of Murfreesboro and grew up there, graduated from MTSU. Have been working in senior living for the past 9 years, and started off in long-term care and then made a transition to hospice, and have been at Creekside for a while now. And I'm very excited to be working with my seniors again and getting them in apartments and assisted living and just watching them thrive.
So what kind of led you into this line of work?
I've always had a passion for elderly. I've enjoy my grandparents and spending time with them during the summer and just hearing their stories, and I've always wanted to be in the healthcare industry, and seniors I've just always been drawn to. So
we definitely love when Creekside comes and visits us here on Open Line, and we've got the telephone sitting next to us all night. So if folks have ever had a question about assisted living, memory care, and the services and programs that you all provide, now is the time to call in, and we will definitely get to your questions or even stories that you want to share tonight. We are happy to hear from you. Of course, we also have Katie joining us tonight. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, I'm the Director of Operations. I have been at Creekside since it's opened, which we've been there 9 years. I've moved to Murfreesboro when I was 4, so just grown up there, and I enjoy helping our seniors, just like Amy said. When I was younger, just being with my grandparents, and just that's
definitely fulfilling. That's for sure. We, of course, have so much to talk about tonight. But first, let's kind of let folks know about some of our main topics this evening, some of the things we do want to discuss, just to prepare folks for the next hour. What is on the agenda for tonight?
Okay, wonderful.
And we have two of you here, so whoever wants to jump in there, there's no rules. You guys are both being so polite. I love it. So I guess we'll hear from you first, Amy. What's on the agenda for tonight?
Well, we want to start off by telling you what the difference is between assisted living and memory care. I think that's important for us to know, especially when you're looking for placement for your loved ones. Assisted living is really focused on enhancing someone's independence and assisting with their activities of daily living. So those things that were difficult for them to do when they were living at home by themselves. The point of assisted living is, of course, for them to be independent, so we assist as little or as much as they need.
Wonderful.
We want them to be able to go out on outings, and to if they still drive, we want them to be able to drive and go to church or to meet their friends at the senior center or meet their family for dinner. We encourage that. We also have a wide range of activities available for them to keep them active within the community. At Creekside, we have several different apartment types that we assist them with. We have studio, which is a small open concept apartment. We have a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom apartment. In all of those apartments, we have a little kitchenette with a refrigerator and a microwave. There's no oven because we serve all 3 meals, so there's no reason to have to cook. And then we have a bathroom with a walk-in shower that has security bars and a shower seat for their convenience. With memory care, of course, that's focused more for residents who have cognitive impairment, so Alzheimer's, dementia, and anything else that falls within those lines. When you think of memory care, you think of a secured neighborhood, and by secured I mean locked. And we do that because at that point in their life, they may wander and get confused. A lot of times they sundown. So around 5 o'clock, they may go out and think they're going to the car, or they're going to eat dinner, or they're going to work. So we have to keep that secured for their safety. In assisted living, we anticipate that their care levels need to be higher. So we provide a lot of extra support as far as bathing and cueing them to eat, or getting them, helping them get dressed in the mornings, doing activities, just doing things like that with them. The biggest difference as far as cost for the two different levels, assisted living is one base rate, and we charge extra for care levels. So not every resident that's at Creekside needs us to do medication management, but we may have 40% that need that. So we charge at different rates for that. In memory care, it's all inclusive, because we know at that point in their life they will need the extra care. So we include that in the rates so that the families aren't shocked when they get the bill.
Yeah, definitely catering to all of the needs, and kind of back to the safety issues. It's for their well-being, and of course loved ones' peace of mind. One great thing when we do have you all with us here on Open Line is we hear a lot of stories from you know, the loved ones of residents, and you know, just really able to answer any questions that folks have ever wondered, because it's definitely an interesting process to begin, and there is a right way of having that conversation. We'll talk more about that later tonight. Katie, let's talk a little bit about Creekside at Three Rivers. Let's say you've never heard of Creekside. Tell us about the location, some of the things that you just would love for people to know, just with the basic information on it.
Okay, Creekside, we're located in Murfreesboro. We're in a neighborhood setting, so we're off the street. It's in a really nice area. We are locally owned and operated, so everything is really home-based, and it's nice to have that, because all decisions are made in Murfreesboro, so we don't have some big corporate that we have to answer to, so it's really fortunate to have that.
Definitely a beautiful area out there. So on the campus, we can talk more about the campus later tonight too. We definitely need to discuss that. But first, we are excited. We have our first caller tonight. I believe we have James on line 1. Hi, James. You are on Open Line. What's your question?
Yes, I actually just want to thank you for being on. I personally just come back from Pensacola, Florida for a month. And let me tell you, I miss NewsChannel 5 of the morning with Leland.
Oh, that just made our day. I'll have to tell Leland you said hi, James.
Everybody at NewsChannel 5, so I actually got in my truck and drove back all the way from Pensacola, from Navarre Beach, just to come back to Nashville to see you guys. I didn't think I was going to miss NewsChannel 5 that much, but let me tell you what, I did. But thank all y'all ladies for being on, and thank you, NewsChannel 5.
Well, thank you, James. And I just want to say, personally, you are my new favorite viewer ever. So that means the world to us. Do you have a question for us tonight here on Open Line, or maybe just a story that you want to share? We do appreciate the wonderful words there, though. I'll take that any day.
Yes, thank y'all so much, and y'all do a great job.
Well, thank you, James. We appreciate it. All right. Well, I tell you what, we will take that kind of phone call any day. That means our loyal viewers like James are tuning in. Our friends Katie and Amy here, they were asking me a little bit about, you know, do we get, you know, people calling in? And of course we do. We love to hear from folks, and that line is open. And of course, sometimes we just share stories. Sometimes people don't even have a question. They just want to say hi and join in on the conversation, like our friend James. You know, and I really encourage people to call in, because you don't always have to have a question. But let's say they don't want to call in. Maybe folks are watching this tonight and they're not near a phone, or they're just busy, maybe cooking dinner, but they want to know more information. Maybe after tonight's show, where else can they go to find information or contact you all at Creekside?
Well, we have a website, Creekside at Three Rivers Assisted Living. And one thing I always encourage families and anyone looking for assisted living placement is to potentially look at their Facebook page. We have a wonderful Facebook page where we post pictures and videos of our activities. I know I just had a move-in for a resident, and that was one of the biggest things for that family, was to engage, to have her. She had been living at home by herself, and that was so important to them, and that they actually liked our Facebook page. before making a decision to move in.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I very much recommend to look at that. I also would love to have any of you all come in for a tour. I am the person that you would contact at 615-895-3002. We can give you a tour, set you up for lunch to see what our chef's cooking for the day, and to show you around.
Wow, so let's talk about kind of the process. Let's say that you are ready to make the phone call, whether yourself looking maybe for assisted living, or maybe you have a loved one that maybe you're interested in some memory care. What do folks need to do to kind of start that process? Let's start with the conversation, how to have it, and then what they can expect after they reach out to you all.
Well, I always say you can call and set up a tour. So you don't have to do that. Sometimes I think the best thing you can do is pop into a community because you get a true sense of what it's like. So I always say drop in or call me. I usually sit down and talk to you to kind of see what your needs are. I think that's important to hear the story. I want to know about you or your loved one, why you're here, what you're looking for. So I try to get a better picture, and then that kind of guides me to where I need to go in the building, whether it's memory care or if you're looking more for a studio apartment, or you're moving in your mom and dad and you need a 2-bedroom apartment. At that point, we go for a tour, and then we go back and sit down, and I always ask what they think, and if they're interested in touring, then we have to contact the physician at that time to get paperwork sent to us to kind of get the ball rolling to get someone into the community.
I think that speaks volumes that you encourage folks to not really set up an appointment. I mean, you can, but just to pop in and see what you all are really about, and I think that says a lot, you know? So we do have another caller here. I believe we have Margaret on line 1. Hi, Margaret. What's your question tonight on Open Line?
Yes. Hi. How are you all this afternoon?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good. Good. I'm glad to talk to you all. And what I'm looking for. Hello?
Yeah, you go right ahead. We can hear you. You were on.
Okay. And what I'm looking for, the young ladies explained that real good. I would like to know about a 2-bedroom studio apartment. I'm about 73 years old, and I think I'm ready to move downsize and be around people my age and stuff.
That's a great question. So we'll give you some more information about that. I'll let you all take it away because you are the experts tonight.
Well, I'm glad you called in. I think that's the first big step you can take in identifying when you're ready for assisted living. I'll tell you a quick story. My grandfather last year was very hesitant to go into assisted living, and 4 months later he decided it was his time, and he has never looked back. He enjoys it. He's made so many friends. So the socialization aspect of being in a community is just, it's wonderful. As far as our 2-bedroom apartment, we have it would be 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchenette with a refrigerator and a microwave. And of course, we encourage you to bring a coffee pot, things like that. We have coffee throughout the whole community, but some of our residents enjoy waking up to fresh coffee. And then you would have a restroom. Me too. And you would have a restroom as well with a nice walk-in shower. The way we do rates, we always encourage to come in and talk to us, because with us being locally owned, we're really able to sit down and talk to you about your needs and figure out what we can do to really help you as far as pricing and the apartment size and what your likes and your dislikes are. So I would always encourage you to go we would love to have you at Creekside, but wherever you're located, just go and see the different apartments. Every building has a different feel. Some are more home-like, some are big and very modern, and some people don't like that. You know, they want a smaller home-like setting. So I always encourage to go look at those different apartments and things.
Definitely. That was a great question, Margaret. We really appreciate you calling in on Open Line. That's what tonight's all about. I'm not the expert. You guys are. Again, just in case you are maybe just now joining us, we have a Creekside at Three Rivers here tonight. This is Katie Keach. She's the Director of Operations, and closest to me is Amy Kelly. She is actually the Marketing Director. So obviously able to fill us in on some great information tonight. We've already had a wonderful conversation. I want to ask a little bit about the living and the you know, the apartments. I love that someone called and asked those questions. Fantastic what you all provide, both in assisted living and memory care, which we've already discussed the difference, but we can readdress that later. Let's talk a little bit about the other amazing benefits of being a part of your community, as I like to call it, is the programs. You all have something fun going on all of the time. So first, let's talk a little bit about just some of the fun daily activities and maybe a special event that's coming up soon.
Sure. Well, unfortunately, isolation and depression is very common with our seniors as their social circle begins to shrink. So we really try to focus on keeping a calendar full of activities, outings, entertainment. So surely we'll capture someone's interest when they're there. Different things that we do, there's always a national day of something, national day of brownies, national day. Yes. So every day we have something special going on for the national day. We go to places like Cracker Barrel and a local restaurant in Murfreesboro called Slick Pig, and they're going to the Center for the Arts next week to see a play. So we really try to have a wide range of things going on. Another great thing that we do, we have resident council, which is where our residents come together and meet with our leadership team, and that's where they really tell us what they want to see from our activities in the building. They mentioned, I guess it was last month, that they wanted to have Sunday brunches. We had our first Sunday brunch last Sunday, and we had an omelet station, a mimosa bar, we had bagels and bacon and everything you can imagine. So we really try to do things like that, themed meals, special occasions. We're having a Super Bowl party. We're broadcasting the Super Bowl in the dining room, so different things like that. As far as activities within the building, we do things, we have a pool hall, so we have pool nights, we have card nights, we do your typical things like bingo. Our residents really love bingo.
I love bingo.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love bingo?
Right. We have a country store, so they get to buy things with their bingo bucks and things like that, so they enjoy that part of it. So we really do try to keep them as involved as we possibly can.
Oh my goodness, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great way to break the ice in our first segment. We had our two callers, James and Margaret, joining us. Thank you so much for your questions and kind comments. We always appreciate that. We're going to have more, much more with Creekside at Three Rivers coming up. Just keep it right here on News Channel 5 Plus.